How far would you go for the person you love? Would you take a bullet for them? Would you die for them? Or would you lock a man in a pitch-black cage for 25 years, feeding him just enough to survive, while he begs you for death every single day? What happens when the justice system goes completely blind and an ordinary man decides to become the judge, jury, and executioner? Welcome back to Detective Equation. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most chilling psychological mind games ever put to paper. Eduardo Sacheri's The Secret in Their Eyes. This isn't just a story about a murder. This is the horrifying anatomy of obsession, the rot of a corrupt government, and the terrifying price one man paid to get absolute revenge. Our story begins in the 1990s. Benjamin Chaparro, a seasoned criminal court investigator, has just retired. To fill the void of his retirement, he decides to write a novel. But this isn't fiction. He's writing about the biggest, darkest case of his life, the one that has robbed him of his sleep for the last 25 years. Chaparro sits at that exact same old typewriter with the broken A key. As he begins to type, the story throws us into a flashback, taking us straight to 1970s Argentina. 1970s Argentina was an era of intense political turmoil. Chaparro was a young, sharp investigator. A new judge had just joined his department, Irene Hornos. Irene was brilliant, beautiful, and belonged to a wealthy, elite family. Chaparro fell desperately in love with her at first sight. But the class divide between them was massive, and Irene was already engaged to someone else. So, Chaparro never confessed his feelings. He just loved her in silence. Amidst this silent love story, a case lands on Chaparro's desk that changes both his and Irene's lives forever. A 23-year-old, beautiful and innocent primary school teacher named Liana Coloto is found murdered in her own home. When Chaparro arrives at the crime scene, his blood boils. Liana was brutally assaulted and then ruthlessly murdered. But the deepest impact on Chaparro comes when he meets Liana's husband, Ricardo Morales. Morales was a simple, unassuming bank clerk. They were newlyweds, madly in love with each other. When Chaparro looks into Morales' eyes, he doesn't see tears. He sees a profound, terrifying emptiness, a dead silence screaming that this man's soul has died alongside his wife. Morales' love was so pure that Chaparro, who secretly loved Irene, could feel Morales' agony deep within his own bones. Chaparro makes a promise to Morales he will find the killer and put him behind bars for life. Morales carves this promise into his heart like an unbreakable vow. The police investigation kicks off. The department at the time is highly corrupt. To close the case quickly, another corrupt officer in Chaparro's precinct arrests two innocent laborers and tortures them so brutally that they falsely confess to the crime just to stop the beatings. End quote. But Chaparro and Irene know these men are innocent. Risking his entire career, Chaparro gets the laborers released and restarts the hunt for the real killer. One day, Chaparro visits Morales. Morales shows him some old photographs of Liana taken back in her hometown of Chivilcoy. As Chaparro studies the photos closely, he notices a chilling pattern. In every single group photo, hidden in the crowd of Liana's friends, a boy standing in the background is always staring dead at Liana. Chaparro zooms in on the boy's eyes. That wasn't a normal look. That wasn't the look of a friend. In that gaze, there was a terrifying obsession, a hungry lust. And this is exactly where the title comes from, The Secret in Their Eyes. Chaparro found the killer's secret hidden right there in his case. The boy's name was Isidoro Gomez. Gomez was also from Liana's hometown and had a creepy fixation on her since childhood. When Liana married Morales and moved to Buenos Aires, Gomez followed them to the city. And since the day of the murder, Gomez had vanished. Chaparro's suspicion had just turned into absolute certainty. Finding Gomez wasn't going to be easy. Chaparro enlists the help of his most trusted colleague, Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval is an absolute genius, but he has one fatal flaw: alcohol. Yet, he is the kind of friend who would take a bullet for Chaparro. Sneaking into Gomez's mother's house, the duo uncovers some of Gomez's old letters. The letters don't contain any addresses, just mundane chatter with strange names dropped in between. Names like Mandia, Rene, Omar. Chaparro assumes these are Gomez's friends. But one day, while drinking at a local bar, Sandoval's genius brain makes a mind-blowing connection. He tells Chaparro that these aren't friends' names at all. They are the names of players from the 1960s roster of Racing Club, one of Argentina's most famous soccer teams. Sandoval then delivers a line that serves as the ultimate truth of the entire story. He says, "Chaparro, a guy can change anything. He can change his face, his home, his family, his girlfriend, his religion, his God, but there's one thing he cannot change. He cannot change his passion." Gomez's passion was Racing Club soccer. Meanwhile, what had the grieving husband, Morales, been doing all these years? Every single day after work, Morales would stand at the Retiro railway station. He would scan millions of faces passing through the gates, holding on to the slim hope that one day Gomez would walk by. Think about the magnitude of a husband's love, wasting the best years of his life, looking for one face in a sea of millions. But thanks to Sandoval's theory, the investigation pivots. A massive Racing Club match is about to take place. Chaparro, Sandoval, and a police squad infiltrate the packed stadium. Scanning tens of thousands of faces, Sandoval suddenly spots him, Gomez. Seeing the cops, Gomez makes a run for it. What follows is a spine-chilling chase through the stadium's crowded corridors and bleachers. Finally, Gomez is captured. In the interrogation room, Gomez proves to be a cunning psychopath. Wearing an innocent smirk, he denies everything, answering Chaparro and Sandoval's questions with infuriating calmness. Then, Irene walks into the room. As a woman and a powerful judge, Irene knows exactly how to break a psycho like him. She looks at Chaparro and says, "Let this weak, pathetic coward go. He isn't even fit to touch a woman. He doesn't have the manhood to assault a beautiful woman like Liana. He's just impotent." Irene's words strike a direct, lethal blow to Gomez's fragile male ego. His obsession with Liana was his greatest weakness, and he can't stand having his masculinity questioned. Driven mad by rage, he snaps and confesses. He screams that yes, he killed Liana. Gomez gets a life sentence. Morales gets justice. Chaparro and Irene believe that evil has been defeated. But detectives, this isn't your average true crime story. This is a story that shows the horrifying price of justice when a system rots from the inside out. A year passes. It is now 1974. The government in Argentina has changed, marking the beginning of a terrifying era known as the Dirty War. The state has formed right-wing death squads to eliminate political opponents. They need ruthless criminals who can kill without mercy. One day, while watching TV at the courthouse, Chaparro sees a broadcast of the president's public event. His eyes lock onto one of the bodyguards standing in the presidential security detail. That man is none other than Isidoro Gomez, wearing a tailored suit, holding a gun, and smiling under state protection. The ground slips from beneath Chaparro's feet. He rushes to Irene. They discover that the old corrupt officer Chaparro had crossed paths with God Gomez, released from prison, turning him into a state-sponsored hitman. Gomez is now above the law. He starts sending open death threats to Chaparro and his loved ones. Chaparro's life is on the line. One night, armed government thugs break into Chaparro's apartment, but Chaparro isn't home. His best friend, Sandoval, after a fight with his wife, was crashing at his place. Sandoval knew the hitmen were there for Chaparro. Like the ultimate friend, Sandoval hides his own identity and takes the bullets meant for Chaparro. He sacrifices his life to save his best friend. Devastated by his best friend's murder and terrified for Irene's safety, Chaparro is forced to flee Buenos Aires overnight, hiding in a small provincial town miles away. He couldn't get justice for his friend. He couldn't get justice for Morales, and he couldn't confess his love to Irene. Fear had completely taken over his life. The wheel of time turns. A full 25 years pass by. We are now back in the 1990s. After 25 years, the retired Chaparro returns to Buenos Aires to finish his book. He meets Irene first. She is now married with children. That silent love between them is still very much alive, but time has marched on. But Chaparro needs closure for his story. He tracks down Morales. Morales now lives far away from the city, completely alone in an isolated, rundown farmhouse. Chaparro arrives at his doorstep. Morales has aged significantly. His face is lined with wrinkles, but the 25-year-old emptiness in his eyes hasn't changed. Sitting across from him, Chaparro breaks down. He pours out the heavy guilt he has carried for 25 years. He apologizes for failing to keep Gomez behind bars and for fleeing when things got tough. Morales cuts him off. There is no sadness in his voice, no anger. With bone-chilling calmness, he says, "You don't need to live with this guilt, Chaparro. 25 years ago, the night you told me that monster was let out of prison, I tracked him down. I kidnapped him, threw him the trunk of my car, and shot him right outside this house. I killed him. I live in peace now." Chaparro is stunned, but deep down, he feels a strange sense of relief, knowing the monster finally got what he deserved. Chaparro says his goodbyes, gets into his car, and starts driving back. But along the way, a detective's brain never stops ticking. Something Morales said bothers Chaparro. Morales said he lives in peace now, but a man who worshipped his wife like a goddess, could he really just shoot her killer once and sit in peace for 25 years? Chaparro saw no peace in Morales' eyes. Chaparro turns his car around and quietly returns to the farmhouse. This time, he doesn't knock. He sneaks around to the backyard. There, he finds an old, small shed. The shed has a heavy iron door, locked from the outside, with massive padlocks. Chaparro creeps up and peers through a tiny rusted iron grate in the door. Inside, it is pitch black. There is a cage made of thick iron bars, exactly like a dark prison cell. And inside that cage sits an old, frail skeleton of a man. That man is Isidoro Gomez. The blood in Chaparro's veins turns to ice. His breath catches in his throat. Morales never shot Gomez. 25 years ago, he kidnapped him and locked him in this dark cell. 25 years. For a quarter of a century, Gomez had been living like an animal in that tiny cage. He was given just enough food to survive, but Morales never spoke a single word to him. When Gomez sees Chaparro looking through the grate after 25 years, there is no anger or hatred in the monster's eyes. Instead, there is a terrifying, soul-crushing desperation. Gomez slowly crawls toward the bars. His voice, unused for decades, is nothing but a dry whisper. He places his trembling hands on the iron grate and begs Chaparro, please tell him to at least talk to me. 25 years of absolute silence. 25 years of horrific isolation. Morales never touched him, never beat him. He simply cut him off from the world, from human voices, from the sunlight, from everything that makes a human being human. Gomez begged for death every single day, but Morales denied him even that. Suddenly, a hand rests on Chaparro's shoulder. Chaparro turns around to see Morales standing right behind him. Morales' face is completely devoid of emotion. He looks into Chaparro's eyes and says in a steady, haunting voice, I made you a promise, Chaparro, and I swore on Liana's grave that I would give him a life sentence. And I am keeping my promise. Chaparro walks away in complete silence. He finally realizes that the life sentence wasn't just for Gomez. To keep Gomez locked up, Morales had to lock himself up in the middle of nowhere as a jailer for 25 long years. Morales' life ended exactly on the day Liana died. This wasn't revenge. This was a brand of justice that devours a human soul from the inside out. Morales' love was so profound that he sacrificed his entire existence to punish a monster. After witnessing this horrifying truth, Chaparro's entire perspective on life shifts. He realizes that if he doesn't confess his love today, the rest of his life will be spent in his own cell of loneliness, just like Morales. Chaparro drives home and sits at his old typewriter. On the paper, the word Timo is typed out. He picks up a pen and fills in the blank space with an A prime. Temo becomes T-E-M-O. Chaparro gets up, walks straight into Irene's office, and the 25-year-long silence between them finally shatters. On one side, there was a love that chose 25 years of hell for the sake of justice. And on the other side, there was a love that conquered 25 years of fear to finally reach its destination. Detectives, the narrative ends here, but it leaves our minds grappling with two deeply disturbing psychological questions. Let's do a deep dive into the pathology of this story. The pathology of obsession. The way Gomez stared at Liana in those photographs. Was that love? Absolutely not. In psychology, this is known as fatal obsession. True love sets a person free, but obsession seeks total ownership. Gomez didn't love Liana. He viewed her as his property. When he saw her happy with someone else, his fragile male ego couldn't handle it. His assault and murder of Liana wasn't a crime of passion. It was a twisted game of power and control. He wanted to break Liana's spirit and shatter Morales' pride. Gomez wasn't a lover. He was a predator who broke the toy he couldn't have. The moral dilemma. Revenge versus justice. When the justice system goes completely blind, what is an ordinary man supposed to do? Was Morales' 25-year act justice, or was it horrifying revenge? Philosophers argue that justice restores balance to society and brings peace to the victim. But revenge hollows a person out from the inside. Morales locked Gomez in a cage, but did he ever realize that to guard the key, he had to become a prisoner in that very same farmhouse? The famous philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you." This is exactly what happened to Morales. To punish a monster, he sacrificed his entire life. He never remarried, never had children, never saw the world. Gomez was only physically trapped in that cage, but Morales was psychologically suffocating in a prison of his own hatred. This is the greatest testament to the power of Morales' love, but also its ultimate tragedy. In this game, nobody won. This psychological depth is exactly what elevates The Secret in their eyes from a standard thriller to an absolute masterpiece. Love can elevate a human being to the status of a god, but if it turns into obsession or stubborn vengeance, it can turn a human into a silent demon, capable of dealing a punishment far worse than death. If you were in Morales' shoes, what would you have done? Can love really push a human being to these terrifying limits? Drop your verdicts down in the comments below.